Different day, same story. Got to go out and get that money. Got miles to give and bills to pay. Got to put that S on my chest today. Superwoman, superwoman. Every superwoman needs her Superman. Superwoman, superwoman. Every superwoman needs her Superman. Hey, I gotta pick up the pace. No more time to waste. Gotta put on my cape. I gotta win this race. I got far too much to say. Different day, same story. Got to go out and get that money. Got miles to keep and bills to pay. Got to put that S on my chest today. Superwoman, superwoman. Every superwoman needs her Superman. Superwoman. What's going on? I would like to welcome you to another edition of On the Move Unscripted with Patricia M. Goins. Today, Mr. Stout's not with me today, but we have a really great show planned for you today. When I was in Chicago with my daughter, and we went to the tour for women, the women's tour in Chicago. What I said it. We met Miss Jenkins, right? Goddess Jenkins. And I just thought that was like, when I saw her clothing line, I was just like amazed, because to know that she is, well, I don't want to tell too much of her story because she's going to be coming on, but I'm just excited to interview her. I'm excited to bring her on. But before I even get into today's guest, I just want to pay respects to Nolan Wells and his family. My heart goes out to them. I have definitely been following the story. And today they yesterday was the funeral. And then today they actually released the preliminary autopsy reports from the independent autopsy. And for whatever reason, all of his body parts did not make it to the second autopsy. So they weren't able to, determine the cause of death. My heart just goes out to the family, because I know that has to be, this has losing a child is bad enough, but then having it come under these kind of circumstances and still not knowing why, like my heart goes out to them. My heart goes out to them. So, that it's a major thing. It has captured the whole world, because we're all trying to figure out, like, what's going on here. So I'm praying that the family get the answers that they need. And I pray that people still keep talking about it, even, until they get the answers they need, because something is definitely not right. And, So back to our guests, right? What's going on, BVM support group? I appreciate you for stopping by and being a part of today's show. So, my daughter has lupus, and she is a dialysis patient. Strong. My daughter's so strong. Oh my gosh. And so when I said it gave her the opportunity to model at his event, I was ecstatic. Like, I was happy. I'm a traveling nurse, and I was traveling from Vermont to Ohio to Chicago to get her there, because I knew that was something that would be good for her spirit, for her soul, And so when I actually got a chance to meet Goddess Jenkins and her husband, Terry Jenkins, I was just blown away. Like, I was literally blown away. I couldn't believe, what she was able to create and how she was able to create it, And so I was like, mesmerized. I want to say I was mesmerized, just by her ability, by her spirit. Mm. You know how you meet some people and there's something about their spirit that just blows you away? That is her. And we actually got Miss Jenkins right here. What's going on, Miss Jenkins? How you doing?
Am great. I am so excited. Hello, hello.
Oh, I am. Listen, you don't even know how many people you inspire and you encourage, not just with your story. And I definitely want you to, talk about your story and everything, but you don't even realize how many people you inspire on a daily basis. You inspire me. Like you when I got that notification that I got that award, I'm like, oh snap, I'm gonna get an award. 27 years and I've never
Wow.
been gotten an award for anything. So this was like a big deal in my heart and my soul. You inspired me. You inspired my daughter, just so much. But anyway, I don't want to, because I could talk.
No, but if you would like, I would like to say something in regards to that. Because that right there, it's those testimonials right there that makes me just continue to be inspired to do exactly what I'm on this journey to do. And that's why I love my vision, because I could feel with my heart, and everyone deserves to get recognized for their gifts that they give freely. So you deserve it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So to I always like to take all of my guests down the yellow brick road, right? And so I want to take you back to where, and I hope this is not a traumatic experience for you, but I want to take you back because to the beginning, because you said you were not born blind, right?
No, I was not.
So please take us back there and lead us up to Mystique Fashions.
All right. Well, I was not born blind. I was born perfectly sighted for 28 years, and I was involved in a tragic accident. And as a result of that accident, I was left blind. It was a very traumatic time, because it was not just the loss of my sight, it was the loss of a loved ones, and then it was just the loss of who I was altogether. Because when that happened, and waking up and being told by the doctor that I would never see again, I had no idea how to wrap my head around that. And I literally thought like my life was over, and I remember thinking like, I wish I would have died. You know what I mean? Because I thought that blindness for me was like my life was over. And I'm very thankful that, through going through rehabilitation, therapy, learning certain things medically, I had to undergo a lot of eye surgeries on my eyes, because I was determined I did not want to accept that I was going to be blind for the rest of my life. So I ended up going through, surgeries. I went and going through injections through Baskin Palmer Eye Institute in Miami, Florida. They're the number one hospital, I have found out, for eyes in the US. So I was like, okay, there's hope. There's always hope, because coming up, I've been through a lot of things in my life, and I was always taught about faith. You only have to have this faith the size of a mustard seed. And thankfully, I knew what a mustard seed was, and I have felt it. And I'm like, okay, I can believe this much. And I did not want to accept it. At the time, I had my son, he was 8 years old. And I remember not knowing how to explain to my son why I could no longer walk to him, walk from the front door. It was devastating to me. And so, I continue to just be able to take myself through a lot to try to be able to regain some sight. And it was successful. After a cornea transplant, it took in my eye at the first time, and I was so happy, because I'm like, okay, this is good. I was so happy. And then unfortunately, I am a domestic violence survivor, and I'm proud of that, but I was hit in my eye, and it caused trauma. So it permanently took the sight in my left eye. So I was left with just my right eye, and I had the transplant at that time, and my transplant rejected. So I went back to not being able to see. And then I was so blessed that my doctor, he decided to take one more chance and do another transplant. So I literally had three transplants in the same eye. And on that last transplant, I was so very happy because it took, and I was able to see 20/20 tunnel vision out of my right eye. So the vision that I have is, if you can picture looking through a drinking straw, and that's how much clear vision I had. And I was thankful for that because I was able to see a daughter who I had never seen for 11 years. And so on that day, I made a declaration to myself that I was never going to complain. I was no longer going to look at this as just the end. I was going to do everything in my power to show that I was still capable and I still had purpose. So I found out about blind rehabilitation therapy, and I went to the Lighthouse of Central Florida in Orlando, Florida, and I began to go through training. I began to learn about Braille, and I fell in love with it because this gave me the ability to do something again that I hadn't done in so long. I could read again. I could read. I could be able to communicate with my children. I could teach them a language that we could understand, whether or not I could see or not. And I just embraced it. I embraced all of the skills. I learned about assistive technology, which are computers systems that allow someone, if you have no sight, there's a system called JAWS, and everything talks. So I go through all the systems like you do. If you're on Word, Excel, it's just there's nothing, it's not a picture on my screen. I'm all going by hearing. And so then they have Zoom text, which magnifies everything, which is what I use so that the vision I do have, I can be able to see due to changing things like the contrast. My screen is black, my words are yellow. That allows me to see things a lot better. So
Did this
learning,
happen in Chicago? Was this in
huh?
Chicago or South Carolina? The accident happened in Chicago or South Carolina?
No, the accident happened in Houston, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm originally from Chicago,
Mm,
and that's a whole nother story
okay.
behind Chicago. But basically, I'm proud to just give a snippet. I represent Chicago to the fullest because of the fact that's where it started. That's where my strength, because as I go back to tell you how I got into Mystique Fashions, embracing my blindness came from my early on when I had to embrace other tragedies that I went through, and I was always put in a position that I had to overcome. At 7 years old, my mother, being from the south side of Chicago, 63rd and King Drive, Parkway Gardens, that was home for me. So there, my mom was out a lot. She worked CNA by day, she worked as a prostitute by night, and there was a lot of abuse that was endured, and that led to my mother committed capital murder and was sentenced to life in prison. And
Right.
then from there, my father went into prison, and then it was just a spiral of not really having no place or no where to feel belong, forcing to become a adult early on, and then having to undergo sexual abuse, physical abuse, having to survive, doing a lot of things just to survive, joining a gang, just doing a lot. And that turned me into somebody at one point in life that was always into survival and never really had a purpose
Mm,
because I was left on my own. My mother gave up being a mother in prison. She never wanted to communicate or write because she felt like she had failed us because of everything we went through. Then to lose my brothers to being incarcerated for 44 years as a juvenile, it's just like I was lost in the world, So all of those points in my life forced me to have to continue to push, have to motivate myself. I had to believe in myself, and I was determined to not be what they said I was going to be, which was nothing like the rest of my family in prison. But God, I was not. You know, I graduated. I went on to college. I was a nurse, and then this happened. And then I had to adjust all over again. And what helped me was my children, because I was now a mother and I had to show up for my kids. I wanted to show them that it didn't matter. It didn't matter what everyone else said your mom couldn't do because she couldn't see. I'm going to show you that there's nothing that I can't do. You get what I'm
So
saying?
you were
Yes. I, I'm
a
sorry. It
nurse
broke.
before all this happened. You were a nurse. You said you
Yes.
were a nurse
Yes, I
before.
was. Yes, I was a nurse for 10 years.
Wow. So that's where the because when I talk to you, there's a natural love or there's something about your spirit that nurses have. You understand what I'm
Yes.
saying? We have this
Yes.
thing where we just want to nurture everybody, and I felt
Yes.
that in you. So I want to slide to this love story, right, between you and Mr. Terry Jenkins.
Well, well, that,
Yeah, let's get to that. So,
well,
Mystique,
I'll get that.
or after?
No, I meant, okay, so you're gonna get the exclusive sneak peek to our love story. So the truth is,
Exclusive.
yes, yes, this is exclusive right here for the first time. And I am I tell everybody that this is how Mystique Fashions was really born. So I became to share my life, and I began to do so many things that people don't expect someone blind to do. You know, modeling, I began beauty pageantry, which built this platform for myself to where people were just like overwhelmed, because they were just like, so, like, wow, like she's doing this and she's blind. So I became a voice of, not just, it was a voice behind and a story behind that title holder of that model, not just because she's blind. So I would go through different groups, and I would be encouraging, and I do a lot within working with the people who are incarcerated. I pride myself on still being that person to show encouragement. So there was a group that I was in, and it was for family of those who are incarcerated, and I go in there to just provide inspiration. And I came across a post, and it was of Terry, and he was explaining about how he had so many years left in his incarceration, and he was just staying strong. And the words, and that I was reading it, and I was just touched, and I said, keep your head up, keep going. And I sent the message. Now, if you're on Facebook, it doesn't go through if you're not friends. They got to do the message request. So 3 months later, he's checked the message
Hmm.
and read it. And from there, we started talking. And we became instant, like it was something about it was just instant connection. It wasn't talking on no other level, but just encouragement and friends and sharing our story. And before you know it, even though he was incarcerated, it was still, that was that outlet, because the world was saying, Goddess, the title holder, the model, and she's blind and she's doing this, but no one knew the real behind the scenes stories of what I was really going through. I was in a
Hmm.
abusive relationship. I was going through battling depression due to that. I had lost, myself, but I still showed up. The one thing I still could do was be able to inspire, be able to encourage others. And through doing that, that helped me get through my pain. So he was in a relationship, and I would be encouraging, and I would be the counselor. We were just those great friends. And this
Oh
went
wow.
on. Yes, and it's like for 2 years that was that. But he got me through some of the hardest times. I lost one of my brothers due to a overdose. I was in a very bad, bad, bad medical point where I was in a hospital and it got really critical and he was there on the phone. It's so many instances that he was always that person that I could count on because biologically I didn't have any family except for my kids. And when I got the courage to leave and not accept being treated like nothing anymore. I ended up going to it. I was in a domestic violence shelter, and no one knew I was homeless for a period of time because if you looked around, I was here, I was speaking, I was getting all these accomplishments, and no one knew what I was really going through behind the scenes. But I was still
Mm.
inspired and I still wanted to show people because I had young people I had that never seen that they were saying, "Oh my God, if Miss Goddess, you could do it. I want to do it." And that was something for me. You know what I meant? Because I never
Mm.
had that coming up. And so one day we were talking, and the funny part about it is Terry never knew I was blind. He never bothered to actually go on my actual
Wow.
page from that first day
Wow.
because we just
Wow.
instantly clicked. So I never wanted to tell him I was blind because initially when I would say that, it's this label. People instantly think, "Oh, you're going to be this burden or you're going to have to take care of me." So at this point it's 2 years they have broke up. We're going into the third year, and so we had became more than just friends. So it was like I didn't want to be that. I kept on saying I don't want that because was knowing that one day I was going to have to tell him. And I really honestly thought that everything was going to change because so many people in my life, even after I lost my sight, even after they would see all of the accomplishments, I lost so many people that I thought I would that were friends. The person that I was with since I was 18 and had two kids began to tell me I wasn't anything, began to treat me like I was nothing because I was blind. So I never ever thought that nobody would really accept me for that in that type of way as far as finding love and being in a relationship. But I was wrong because and
So,
he we was
so when did the fashion part come
so the
in?
fashion
So
part
what? Mhm.
the fashion part came is one day we were on the phone and he was telling me he had sent me a actual clothing line that he came out with that was called Blind Love. He had designed while he was behind the wall. So I had started to tell him because I was modeling. I was modeling and I was like, I want to do clothing where people can under people like me that we read braille, we understand braille. I want to wear clothing that I know what I'm wearing. I want to be able to go in
Mm.
and shop for myself or design something, and I want like you because I was teaching him braille. So I was like, that way other people who are sighted, they can learn our language. So we started talking about it, and then he got when he came home, we made it into we could brought that vision to life. We being as though he later found out that I was blind, it was like we took it, he became blind and we did fall in love and with someone who was blind. And then my name is really Mystique and it means mysterious, the unknown, and fashion. And the reason why we just decided all together and we thought about we said Mystique Fashions because people don't understand that a lot of times the beauty that they possess is unknown because in fashion you think you have to be a certain look, a certain size, a certain way. And for me, I wanted Mystique Fashions. I wanted people that wore our clothing to know that you can wear our clothing and you can model our clothing and you're still beautiful and you still are able to accomplish being a model and being feeling like you're just as great as anyone else despite a disability, despite what doesn't look like everyone else because beauty comes from the inside. So that's how Mystique Fashions was birthed and born. And then we just got blessed to I crossed paths with an amazing designer, model. I mean, just he has so many titles. I can't name them all. So Septimius the Great, and he was so taken by the fashion line. He introduced me to Shagan Gupta, who is the founder of LA Fashion Closet and LA Fashion Week. And right off his first time, a designer, first time we designed our first big show is at LA Fashion Week, and you
Wow.
have models for the first time. It's so funny because we're walking around and I have a cane and my cane's all blinged out. Everyone thought they were accessories. No one really realized that we were actually legally blind. Some were hearing impaired, some were developmental disabilities, but no one knew the people that were they were like, we didn't know, and they were so
It looks like
everyone was
the
so
internet is
Hello?
it's breaking up. I think it's breaking it broke up. Hello?
Yeah, it looked like her mic and her
the
screen went.
enemy be trying. Listen, we going.
Hello? Hello? What is this?
So listen, are you still there?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Let me tell you, I don't. The enemy is a liar. Devil, get behind us. I'm not playing. Listen, So yeah, I don't. Listen, you have overcome so many obstacles. You have overcome so much. The enemy has been trying for a long time to knock you out, but look at you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And not only that, but your story inspires people. Just being a domestic violence survivor alone, you
Yes.
know, people don't understand how hardship. When I did the movie This Can't Be Love, it's because I wanted people to know that domestic violence shelters exist.
They
And you said you were in one,
yes,
So
it was. And
I
the funny part about that is looking back, I was working at a domestic violence shelter, the Salvation Army Women and Children Shelter. Actually, I was literally working there, and no one knew for a whole month. I was actually sleeping in my office, and then I ended up meeting one of the caseworkers that came in from another domestic violence shelter, Miss Kizzy Barrio, and she saved my life. She didn't tell anyone. She got me in her shelter. So I was actually working at one shelter, but actually living at one when I finally just decided to leave after being attacked and chased in the street. My cane was taken, and I literally almost got hit by a car. That was my turning point, and I left, and I never looked back.
I am when my daughter modeled your clothing line. And I saw my daughter come out there. She was proud too. She did her little thing. I'm like,
Yes,
go on, Ebony. I was so
yes,
happy. And it's so wild to me because you're for what she had just had dialysis. She was really kind of tired. We had taken a long drive. So she only got to model your clothing line. But I was just
yes,
like, well, that was the one right there. You
yes,
did the one you're supposed to do. Like, and I just thought I had never heard of Braille
yes.
being put on a lot of recognition for that too, right?
Yes, it's a lot because with the braille, and that's why we use rhinestones because it definitely simulates the braille cells, which are a series of dots that are aligned that spell out different words, and you can you can still word it and label things. And then we also use raised fabric for people who are visually impaired because they're able to, I mean, excuse me, if you don't have any vision, you're still able to trail and feel what you're be able to feel what it says or feel the fabric and things of that nature. So there's a lot of ways that it helps being inclusive, and then you can know what you're wearing on the tag. You can know the size, you can know the color. There's ways to braille to where you can even know what it says, you know. So it just makes things so much more easier because you know we can know exactly what we're wearing.
So there's some people here that's on here, and I'm wondering if anyone has a question. So if you have a question that you would like to ask, I see a Coletta Stroud, and I see a BVM support group, and I see a couple iPhones with no name. If you have a question, just jump in, or something that you would like to say to Miss Jenkins, if you jump in there, I don't have a problem with it. This is unscripted. You can already tell the enemy messing with us. That lets you know it's unscripted. So jump in whenever you feel like it. If you unmute yourself. So with all that you've been through, the domestic violence, the accident, dealing with, the issues of your mother and your father and what they went through and all that kind of stuff. How do you keep yourself, how have you been able to keep yourself motivated, and like, because I know every day ain't high days, for even for
No,
myself,
it's
every
not.
day ain't high days, so
Right.
what do you do to keep yourself motivated? And also, explain more about this ceremony that you have for people like myself, who I am too, a victim of domestic violence, for that's coming up in November. Like, tell us
Yes.
about your role to keeping yourself encouraged, and then also the November 14th event.
What keeps me motivated actually goes right into explaining about that event. What keeps me motivated, honestly, during the hard days, because every day is not a good day. It's not. But what keeps me motivated is being able to do exactly what I do. If I can be able to uplift and motivate and inspire someone else and be able to give them that feeling of peace and that feeling of inspiration and help a vision of theirs come to pass, it always gets me through my hard times. It gives me something to focus on. I'm not dwelling on what I may be feeling that's not that good feeling. I'm making sure I keep myself mentally busy, right? So I don't mind. And so I keep on doing what I do. And it was funny because my husband the other day, we were just talking, and he was like, I think you do everything that you do. You do what you do. You give how you give because it just keeps you, able to accept being you. And I said, yes, that's why I started when I lost my sight. I began, what helped me get through was my my determination to be able to do something for other people who were blind, to show them what they could do. So that's actually what helped me be able to continue to get through some of the hardest times in my life, and also continue when the times get hard now, when I'm going through, just to be able to focus on doing something to uplift and help someone else, which is the I Survive Remember Their Name Awards Recognition and Fashion Remembrance Show. It's for, because every year, since Queens Raising Queens started, we are going on our third year. We did a event in Chicago in honor of survivors, in honor of my mother who survived mental health, in honor of my brother who I lost to suicide, because September is Suicide Awareness Month. I wanted to recognize those who have survived situations that could have took them out, but they had turned their pain into purpose. They turned something that did they thought was supposed to be an inability. They thought they were supposed to keep them down. It didn't. It allowed them to push and persevere and be resilient. So every year from the time that I incorporated my organization, I wanted to honor different survivors and organizations that support those survivors, and also the talent of survivors, because a lot of times music, dance, poetry, these are gifts that you possess and that help you get through that time. And so this is extra special because I know November we represent homicide. A lot of times it's represented too that people don't speak about enough. Of course, our veterans, but homicide awareness for those whose lives have been taken, and it's unsolved. The families are grieving and they're trying to persevere. They're wanting answers. We're all seeing an example right now with Nolan Wells. However, there are other stories and names that don't never make the headlines. And one of them was my cousin, which is actually was like my husband's sister, but biologically they were cousins, but they were like sisters. And we lost her last year in June. She was murdered.
We're
And
trying
right
to
now,
connect your audio. Can you hear me, Miss Jenkins?
yes.
Okay. So we got Coletta Stroud. Looks like she wanted to say something. Miss Coletta, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys. I was letting
Okay.
Goddess
Pray
go
for us
ahead and
back
Hey,
there.
continue.
Colette.
Miss Coletta, pray for us back there. The enemy don't want us to have this interview, but we gonna do this.
We gonna cast him back to the pits where he came from. That's right.
Amen to that.
Better
God,
know
God
it.
got it under control. All the mics don't work.
Amen.
Technology is working. God, you know what to
Amen.
do, because Goddess got
Amen.
to be able to tell her story. In
Yes.
Jesus' name.
So
Um,
what would you like to ask her or say to her?
no, I didn't want to ask a question. I just wanted to attest to everything that she is saying because I may not say it enough, or she may not know it, but from the moment that I met Goddess, I knew she was the motivation that I needed in my life, because I always knew that I was a testament because I have a story to tell. But when I met Goddess, it was just something about her energy that, excuse my language, gave no matter what the fuck is happening, you just gotta keep on going. And it it gave me the motivation on a regular basis. Like, she don't know that even in moments where she may not have the words to say, she says the right thing at the right time every time. And it
Mm,
helps me to carry along, because I have a lot on my plate. I have a lot of testimonies, but she's a motivation to me, even through all the things that she's been through.
wow.
And I
Wow.
can second to that as well. I can second to that. That is my queen, my sister. I am Leslie Monique Paris. I
Hi.
am beyond blessed and honored to be her sister. I
Amen.
prayed for someone my whole life for her, like her. And my life changed August 2nd when she wanted me to model. And I said, well, model what? I said, my face, I haven't seen my face since 2017. It probably makes monster cookies. I don't know what I look like. And she was like, come on. And my whole life changed. So a lot of people, they call her goodness instead of goddess. And you've been around her enough, you'd understand why.
Listen. I only met her one time, and she got me hooked. Like I'm a
The
friend.
goodness of God. There you go,
Hey, to
Goddess. The
There
goodness
you
of
go.
God. The name
Ow.
says it all.
Thank you. I love you.
and you know what? That's a beautiful thing
Yes.
to know that you have walked. See, people don't understand. People enter our lives for a reason. God assigns us to different people at different times. We may not know, understand it, or whatever. So the fact that they took the time to come on to this interview just to tell you how much you meant to them and how you changed their life. You got, and not to, fill you up with pride, all kind of stuff, but just so you can know, because sometimes people don't always tell you how you encouraged them or how you've inspired them or how you changed their life and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just happy that it came up. So I see the king right here. Come on, Miss
Oh, hey, brother. Hi.
Hey y'all, what's going on? How you doing?
I am so doing fine. So happy to have met y'all in Chicago. I'm telling you, I drove. Let me see. It was 12 hours
Likewise.
from Vermont to Ohio, and then another 6 hours from Ohio to Chicago, and it was worth every minute because I'm so glad I got to meet the Superman and Superwoman of Mystique.
You're
Like,
here.
So
That's
how's the
why.
journey been for you, Mr. Terry? You know, having such an encouraging and inspiring wife with so many dreams and goals and things. Like, how has that been as her husband?
From the very beginning, it was always motivation. It was always inspiring, and that was something that I needed in my life at the time. I was a vulnerable person, like she told y'all. Like I was in a relationship, and it was something when I met Goddess. It's like I wasn't trying to talk to her or nothing. It's just her spirit just drew me so close to her, and we became best friends. And like all the things that she do, like it gave me so much motivation to do so much more with myself. It made me realize that you have no time to complain. Why complain? And she shows me every day, still to this day, that anything is possible.
Anything.
Anything is possible. If it wasn't for her, who knows what type of road or path that I would have taken when I did get released from prison after doing 10 years.
Mm.
Because I didn't really have the guidance that I needed. When I met Goddess, man, listen, it was
I
over
believe.
with. It was over with, and I keep growing every day, every day,
Listen,
and I
every
love it. I love it.
superwoman needs her Superman. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes.
we all
And
here
every man,
for
we
it.
need we need our superwoman.
Yep. Yeah. That like I said, as soon as I met y'all, as soon as I met you and Goddess Jenkins, my spirit leaped. I don't know what it was. It was just like I was amazed. I know y'all probably thought like, is she starstruck or something? Like, no, it's just like it was so amazing to me, what you were able to create. And then even the love that you have for each other is obvious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so and then when I got that notice that told me that I was being selected as one of the people to receive a ceremony, understanding what I've been through. I'm like you, Miss Jenkins. I went through the child abuse. I went through the molestation. I went through the homelessness. I went through the shelters. I went through even with doing my business, constantly fighting against the powers that be to keep moving towards a dream, a goal, and a vision. In spite, you know what I'm saying? So I
Yes.
can relate with your story. It when I did the movie This Can't Be Love, it took 7 years to film it. Why? Because I was in a domestic violence shelter some of the time that I was filming that movie. Because I had to travel from Chicago to Atlanta and back to film. Because I had to work to get the money to pay for each
Yes.
scene. Like it was a lot. So I can testament to your journey. And I think
Yes.
your strength is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think this is
I
amazing.
feel like through pain comes strength. And through that strength, it allows you to really walk in your purpose. It allows you to know that there's nothing that you can't do. It's really not, because the road wasn't promised to be easy, no, but you do gain the strength to get through. And that's why I want to honor, I wanted to have an event to honor survivors like my lovely, beautiful sister Colette, who I watched battle cancer and overcome it not once, not twice, but I've been there. I seen her story. I seen her still do events with her organization, Love Me Alive Ministries. I see her still go out, never let it stop her, going through treatment, never letting it stop her, still overcoming, even being legally blind, still being able to be an example for her beautiful daughter who they're attending college, doing things. That's worth saying. You deserve it. You did a great job. Keep going. If
I
nobody
appreciate
else
you.
see you, I see you.
Thank you.
That's why this event is important. It is important for people like yourself that has just shared everything you've been through, but you are a nurse that works with children with developmental disabilities, and you're inspiring and you're showing up and you're taking care, you're traveling, you're using your artist, you're using your music, you're ministering, you're getting through, you're being that strength for your daughter who's battling lupus and she's surviving and she's thriving, and you have to be that strength. No one knows, and you're still doing your business. I see you.
It's beautiful.
And no, I might not be I might not be a big celebrity. I might not be a but I'm somebody who, even through not having sight, I want to say that I see you and to keep going. And I want to give you something to remember every day. Somebody saw through my pain. Somebody saw my after story. So that's what this event is about on November the 14th. And when they walk that runway, they're walking that runway for everybody who ever said they couldn't, for every loved one who lost the battle, who every loved one that's still battling. They're still walking and remembering and remembering their name. And that's what this event is about.
Wow. That's amazing.
Is everyone still there? Because I can't. Did it?
I think she got
I think she got
disconnected
the.
again.
Well, hey, everybody that's on. Thank y'all for tapping in.
Well, I
Of
was
course.
going to got you, of course, Queen. Why not?
Shout out Blind, the visually impaired mom support group, Miss Jennifer. I saw you were on. Thank you for your support.
Oh, that's dope. I was trying to figure out what BVM stood for. That's
That
pretty
is the
dope.
blind and visually impaired mom support group. Follow them on Facebook. Yes.
I will. I love that.
So I think she's having a little bit of technical difficulties. Anybody out there want to ask some question?
Listen,
See, I stepped right on in. I had your back.
you did listen. I'm a traveling nurse, and I am in a the agency that I work for has me in this lodge, and their internet is not the way it needs to be right now. And I actually don't work with children. I work with geriatrics, and I
Yeah.
enjoy what
Mm.
I do. I enjoy it, but yeah, I'm out here in Vermont, and y'all internet is off the chain.
Oh my
But
God!
I'm
And this is
not going to let
Verizon,
that.
okay? This is Verizon.
I'm not going to allow that to get me down because I have been looking forward to interviewing you. So my question is, how can people get your clothing line? Like, how can they order your clothing? Like, what way would they go to do that?
So right now we were waiting to have our first official actual our fashion show, because believe it or not, we've done 7 fashion shows so right now, and they were
Wow.
all that before I even got to do my official launch. So we will be doing that officially on November the 14th, and
I'm
the
being
website.
ready. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yay!
Our website will be out, and we do have certain custom orders on our Mystique Fashions page. You can follow us on Facebook on Mystique Fashions, Instagram at the Real Mystique Fashions. It's the real dot, put a period, y'all. Mystique Fashions on Instagram. And we will be launching, so our website will be out there. You can order. We'll have a store up on Shopify, and so we are going to be just stepping out with our Queen's Energy collection. We will have our Crown and Color collection. And we also, of course, we have our Fly collection, which is a collection that was designed by one of our junior designers who
She
is,
here. She
yes,
here.
she's there. So
Adriana, she over there laughing.
yeah,
Hey,
that was
Say
Tiffany
hey.
Grace. She has her story, so we not gonna. She'll be debuting and telling the story behind her collection, which is a just a wonderful story, and definitely, my young people is definitely who I do it first and foremost for, and so I'm excited about that. So right now we have our Queen Energy only shirt out, and
Oh,
we have a way to place orders, and Terry will be putting all of that in the chat so that you can share it around.
everything
And
is in the chat.
Everything's in the chat.
I might need you to email it to me to the email that I sent you so that I can share it around and stuff.
Okay.
Um, I'm just so just for y'all to know, make sure y'all know, Mystique is spelled Mystique. Just in case for anyone who may not
That's
have
right.
known, Mystique Fashions. Um, you are transforming lives. You are definitely one of God's soldiers. See, what people don't understand is the ones with the biggest assignments usually have had the hardest stories. If you
Yeah.
talk to people who have gone through the most but who have overcome and have reached back to help other people, their story was always hard. Even when you think about Harriet Tubman, she did a lot, right? But she went through a
Yes.
lot too before she got there. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
just the fact that you have turned what could have crippled you emotionally and said, "Oh no, mm-mm,
Uh-uh.
mm-mm,
But God, I'm still standing. You know, it's a lot of things like just if the only thing you look is just my vision, that's not going to stop me because it doesn't take physical sight to have a vision. Just
amen,
because I was labeled to have a disability, I wasn't labeled with that disability for it to be an inability. No,
mm,
it's I'm still capable. So that still means I'm capable of doing, and that's what I want. When people ask, well, what is Mystique Fashions? Mystique Fashions is I want to be known for being a designer who showed that beauty has no limits.
mm. Beauty has
Period.
no
Beauty
limit.
has no limits. And when you model, I mean, that's it. And when you model for Mystique Fashions, I want to let you know Mystique Fashions accepts you for just as you are because you was created beautifully and wonderfully made. So at the
Amen.
end of the day, you're always welcome to walk a runway with Mystique Fashions because beauty comes in all shapes, sizes, and abilities. And
And
that's what the
Ebony let me
message I want to
know.
know.
I'm sorry to
Mhm.
interrupt you. Ebony let me know that you made her feel so comfortable. You made her feel, she didn't feel nervous. It was something about the way that you talked to her, or way you handled her, that it just made her feel very,
Yes,
very.
I want to tell. She gave me permission. I'm gonna tell what it was. It was funny because I use humor as a way to break that. It is make it's better to laugh, right? So she had, with the port, she came up to me and she was like, "Is this? Do you want me to try to hide it?" And I looked at my husband. I looked at her. I said, "Girl, no." You beautiful. That's beautiful. Just like you are. You don't have to hide nothing. Leave it right there. I can't see that anyway. And we just started laughing. And she we just started laughing and she was like, "Okay." I said, you better not hide it. And I said, my husband gonna tell me because I'm using his eyes too. And we just laughed about it. And she walked that runway just like it's beautiful. And no, why, you don't have to hide anything.
I think that's, you know, I just think that's amazing. I think that what you're doing is amazing. I think that your energy is amazing. I think
Thank
that
you.
there's no room that you're going to walk in that you don't transform the room with your energy. I promise you. I mean, I
Thank
felt that instantly. And there was a lot of different beautiful models in there, and beautiful clothing, but I
you.
promise you, your energy had me wrapped. I'm like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. And just being able to tell your story to other, like I said, domestic violence survivors. You don't have to be a hostage to the pain of your past. You don't have to be a hostage to your trauma. You don't have to be defined by what you've gone through. Like, we got to move forward. That's the only
Yes.
thing that's been keeping me going, and in spite of all that I've been through in my life, and I know
Right.
that's what's keeping you going. So at the fact that
Yes.
we're able to say that to other people who may not be at your point yet, and just let them
Yes.
know, listen, the first thing you need to do is start praying. That's what you need to do.
That's it.
Pray, because
That's it.
Amen to that. Yes.
anything and everything and all things. And when you pray, God will send what you need and who you need to get you through to the
Yes, he will.
end.
Yes. Yes, he will. And you have to learn too, and with that praying, you have to believe. You have to believe. You can't expect nothing to manifest if you don't believe it. I don't care if you have to say it a million times until you believe it, but you can pray yourself through, and you can do it, and that's what it's about, and that's why he took me through one journey. He took me down one road and gave me one story, and then he connected me to my other half, my best friend, my king, and we developed our own
Superman,
stories. Yes.
Superwoman.
And to me, he literally is my Superman. Like I literally call him that because it was a time I felt like I had to show I could do this, I could do this, and he's like, "It's I don't do it because I think you can't do it. I do it because I want to do it. You do. You've been doing everything long enough." And it's so many things. Like he's there, like right before I could think of it. It's like, okay, it's already done. I get up, it's just like it's like it's a good feeling, and I also want to show people that it doesn't matter about what a disability. It doesn't matter that you're whatever it is. I'm blind, but I still was able to find love. There is something that exists that
Yeah.
is true love. It is that fairy tale love that you see and you dream about and you say, oh, whatever, that's not really real. No, it really exists. And you're blessed when you can God can bless you to connect you with someone that you can become one unit, that you really can love past their heart, like you love them to their soul. It's really out there. So don't never give up on
And don't
anything.
hold on to Ray Ray when you know Ray Ray ain't doing you right. Ray Ray beat you
Please.
down emotionally, mentally, spiritually,
Oh my
physically.
God.
A little Ray Ray so you can find your Superman. And the
That's right.
same for
That's
men. Don't hold on to little Shay Shay who's doing the most when you got a queen waiting on you out here.
amen.
Can I also say something too to throw in? And see, that's the thing about Mystique Fashions. It's a community. It's a sisterhood. We lift each other up. There, I'll give an example. My dad died November 11th, and it's been really hard for me. And I was at work, and I didn't think anyone could tell that I was struggling with the first Father's Day. But my queen over there, the little stinker she can be, she surprised me. I couldn't understand why nobody would take me home after dealing with the nuts at Walmart. I was like, I just want to go home, and cry it out, whatever, whatever. And they're like, oh, you can't go home. We got an errand to run. I'm like, I just want to go home. So, I can't see, so I don't know where I'm going. So we get out the car, and there is my queen, my sister, my best friend. I just was so, I had missed her, and it was so good to see her and Terry, my brother, and just she knew I was really struggling. And even just spending that time, we spent, it meant more to me than anyone would ever in a lifetime know. And that's the thing about Mystique Fashions. Another example, Colette, do you not remember when I was spazzing out before I walked on that runway?
Yes.
Do you remember what you said to me? I can't repeat that. It's too dirty. But you had some words for me. And some of the words was, we've done it. You practiced. This is it. You're fine. Stop it. We're not having this no more. Then she tattled on me the goddess. I said, wow, snitch. I kept going, snitch, snitch. But certain people told her to give up
It's
on me.
all in love.
But it was because certain people told her to give up on me, that I
Mm,
wasn't worth the time, that I
mm.
couldn't do it. But Hunty, I rocked that runway, Hunty. You couldn't tell me and my daughter nothing.
Yes.
And I felt sexy and alive. Literally. I really did. It was all about me. And I couldn't see nobody, so I could care less what they thought. But
You
in
did your
my
thing.
mind, I was all that.
Um,
So
Mission
I'm
accomplished.
grateful.
I am so like happy that I got to interview. So in these last few minutes, because our time is kind of rolling down, um, Miss Jenkins, Miss Goddess, the
Yeah.
right name for you, ma'am, Miss Goddess Jenkins. Please first and foremost, make sure you tell them again how they can get in touch with you. And then I have two things I want you to say. Um, one about a minute each. One, what advice would you give to someone who wants to get into fashions? And two, what kind of encouraging words would you give to a domestic violence survivor or someone who is trying to break out? But first, give them your Instagram, your Facebook, your all that kind of stuff.
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram at the real, which is spelled REAL, the normal way, Mystique MYSTIQUE. Put a period. No, I'm sorry, excuse me. The real, put a period, Mystique Fashions. You can follow me on Facebook at Terry and Goddess. They say we couldn't. You can follow me on Facebook on at Mystique Fashions, and you can follow me on TikTok at Terry and Goddess. They say we couldn't, and YouTube
Sarah,
as
say it
well.
again. Say it again. Say the Facebook again because the
Yes,
internet is acting crazy. Say the Facebook
Okay,
too.
my Facebook is Mystique MYSTIQ
you eat.
back up UE Fashions. So Mystique Fashions, you just type in Mystique Fashions, follow us on Facebook and on Instagram, it's the real, put a period, Mystique Fashions. TikTok, it's Terry Terry and AND Goddess
Okay, it's
GODDESC.
doing it again. So when it come back to acting right, um, we gonna do it again. Listen, because
Okay.
we gonna do it again. I don't care. Listen, the internet, baby, do it again.
All right
Go ahead, step
now.
out and tell. All right. So you can follow me on Facebook. Hold on. Let me make sure my husband's in second.
Facebook at Mystique Fashions. You can follow us on Instagram at Mystique Fashions, which will be the real dot Mystique Fashions. You can follow us on TikTok at They Say We Couldn't, and all that is together. They Say We Couldn't. And we have our official Facebook page, Terry and Goddess. They Say We Couldn't. And all of those links are inside of the chat.
You see how Superman stepped up in there? That's what I'm talking about right there. How Superman like, let me go ahead and internet trip. Let me go ahead. Hey, he got your back. I love that. I love that brings that song, and I get to perform that song.
Yes, and that's exactly what you said as far as what advice would I give someone that's trying to get into fashion? I will give you first of all develop what you want to represent, what you want your brand to represent. Definitely make sure that you connect and do your research and find a good mentor to mentor you that has been in the fashion industry to help you develop, to critique you. I'm very thankful to my mentor, Septimius the Great. Anytime I need him, he's never too busy. Get a good mentor and stay at it. Don't give up, even through the hard times, even when you feel like you might not sell out your first show or the first design isn't right. Don't give up and definitely take that extra step. Go to design school, get the additional, education that you need there, and it will help you with all aspects because there are a lot of aspects that go into fashion. And what I would tell someone out there who's a whether you're a domestic violence survivor, whether you're surviving sexual assault, mental health, whether you're surviving losing someone at the end, I want you to understand that you are it's not over. You're not counted out. You still have a purpose. You still have a journey to go. Trust the process and never let anyone set limitations on you that you do not set on yourself.
That was powerful. That was powerful.
It
And,
was.
and if you're in a relationship that
Eh, okay. Yeah.
What in the world is that? What in the world is that
Where
sound?
God wants you to be.
Okay.
Be where God wants you to be so that you can flourish and be all that He assigned for you to be before you were ever formed in your mother's womb. See, the enemy sometimes will send people into our lives and they be like counterfeits. And we be thinking they're the real thing, but that's not who God sent. So you're with someone and you know in your spirit that ain't who you're supposed to be with, go ahead and start. If you got small children, listen, get them medical records, get them shot records, get all that kind of stuff, and then call the domestic violence hotline. You can look it up real quick and roll up out of there because these really do have programs in place to help you start your life
Yes.
over. You ain't got to stay in that situation, even if your family ain't helping, because some people don't have the family support, or maybe they don't want to go there because they think that the person might go to the family, whatever. They got domestic violence shelters all over the United States that are in. You don't gotta
Yes.
stay where you're not feeling love. You ain't gotta stay where you're getting beat down emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. No, that's why we got too many men and women that are dying. Snapped is on TV because the women killing the men, and then you got fatal attraction because the men killing the women. Like,
It,
listen, it ain't gotta get to that point.
it
Your
doesn't.
family done told you, your friends, everybody done told you.
Mm. Yeah.
What's wrong? Wait a minute, something's wrong. Is everyone there?
It's here. It's just she's having a delay. The connection. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But definitely if you are in any relationship that is causing harm, you definitely want to get help. You definitely want to reach out and seek those resources as she was saying. And that's through, even if it doesn't have a gender. Domestic violence can affect men and women. So at the end
Yeah.
of the day, you seek help. You don't want to lose something that you can't get back.
That's the fact. I lived through
Well,
exactly what you
somebody
said.
wrote something in the chat. What was that?
I
They were
was almost on Fatal Attraction because
The domestic violence hotline is 1-800-799-SAFE.
7233.
That's 7233. So
Say that again. Say the whole number again. I'm
the
sorry.
domestic violence hotline, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-SAFE. So that's 7233.
I
1-800-799-7233.
for gracing my show. It usually doesn't have this much interference, but like I said, I think there's storms going on around the country or whatever, and it's
Yeah.
just making the internet unstable. But listen, no weapon formed against us shall prosper.
Shall prosper.
Amen.
And I'm
Amen.
always able to come back. So it's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
I had a great time.
so you, like I said, you just like, even with you're not even like, you're just like, okay, I love your energy. Your energy is the bomb diggity.
Yes. You
And
gotta, you have to learn things are gonna happen. Things are gonna happen that are beyond our control. And there's a lot of things in life we cannot control, but we can control our response. Our response is our responsibility. You didn't let the internet probably you kept going. And that's the perseverance. That's what we have to do in all situations. So hey, is if you can't control it, your response doesn't have to be down. You don't have to get angry. You can control your response. And I choose from my response to depict positive, to look at the good that came out of it. We still got the message through. Who it's gonna touch is gonna touch. And I'm always available to come back.
I love it. And I thank you for everyone who called in and who, spoke and just you made the show even more than what I expected. And I always believe that, for those who it is meant for them to see this, is meant for them to receive this, that God will send them to it. You know, it don't always happen at the timing when it's going on. Sometimes it's later on, but you don't know who needs what. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's my prayer that whoever, God, whoever needs this, whoever needs this, whatever the purpose and reason that you had us come together tonight, and the young lady and her husband, everybody who came, God, whatever that reason is, allow those who are supposed to receive it, and allow it to test them in a way that it makes a difference. Let there be something that we said, or or she said, or whatever, to touch them, to make them act and move in whatever direction it is that you want them to act and move. I pray that in Jesus' holy name. I thank y'all for coming on the Move Unscripted. I appreciate you. Can't wait till November 14th. Listen, my cousin reached out to me like, I can make you a dress. Come on, make me a dress. Listen, I'm trying to be
All
fly.
right now.
I know that's
Make
right.
sure you blinging or go home. You gotta be blinging. If you ain't blinging, you might want to go home.
Right. Thank
Well,
y'all for
thank
stopping by.
you.
Thank
Appreciate
you
Thank,
y'all.
for having me.
Yes.
thank you for having me, and peace and blessings. Thank you very much.
Peace and
Have a good
blessings.
night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night. Love
Uh,
you, Queen.
Unscripted
Love you,
is
brother.
love
Bye.
y'all. Love y'all.
love y'all.
Bye.
Bye bye. See y'all.
Bye. See you.